It's a common misconception that spy baiting is only for suspended fish in super clear water, something like you might see in the Southwest or Japan or maybe a smallie lake up north. And I've found that not to be true at all. I've been using spy baits for several years, and after playing with the development of the spy, we were able to come up with 2 different sink rates to actually be able to use in a lot more situations than we've had the opportunity to before. These fish up shallow, you can see I'm casting up around some grass right now. These fish up shallow don't see many spy baits, and they bite spy baits. It's one of those things that you can go behind other boats. Maybe the fish are dialed into small bait, or maybe fishing's just tough, and you can go in and catch fish that other guys aren't catching. I've seen it several times where I just can't get bit on a bait that I swore I could get bit on. I bust this thing out and I get several bites. So we've got 2 different sink rates on the spy. We've got a fast sink and a slow sink. The fast sink is the one that I'll reach for anytime I'm fishing deeper than 6 or 8 feet deep. It's super good in open water. It's really versatile, casts a long way, got great action. Good on suspended fish. It falls about a foot a second. So, you know, suspended fish are tricky to fish for, but this simplifies it a lot, because if you know this bait's gonna sink a foot a second and you see fish that are sitting in 15 feet over 40, you cast this thing out, count to 15 with your bail open, and you just reel it in slow. And it's gonna stay in 15 feet, tracking 15 feet for the majority of the way back to the boat. Now if I'm fishing shallow, over shallow grass, brush, rock, on a shallow shoal or something like that, that's when I'll reach for the slow sink. And it's really cool because you're just able to fish that in places you've never really been able to effectively fish a spy in the past. For me anyways, I think, you know, that slow retrieve is the key. And you can fish a faster sinking spy bait shallow, but you've got to reel it too fast. You'll catch a few, but you won't catch as many as you will on the slow sinking spy. So if you fish for a lot of smallmouth and largemouth too, you know what fish do to black. They absolutely eat black. And I think the big reason is they can see it from so far away. It's one of those baits that, you know, doesn't necessarily look on some lakes like what fish eat. Obviously you've got leeches and stuff like that in northern lakes, but the fact that they can see it is the biggest key. And if you get an aggressive smallmouth and you can see your bait from 20 feet away instead of just 10 feet away, it ups your odds. This black color, very similar to like a black hair jig. And also, you know, another thing is these, a lot of times when the bluegills get up in the sun, they get really dark colored. That's why a black topwater works so well. There was no black spybait on the market, so we made sure to fix that. We've got a black spybait, and this needs to be one of your top couple colors when you go spybaiting this summer. Fish are always looking for an easy target. The way that the spy swims is a little bit tail heavy, so it makes it look like it's injured basically, while it's still tracking straight, while it's still shimmying perfectly. It swims a little bit tail down, and it just makes it look like something these fish are going to eat easily. I'm switching it over to the bluegill color. It's super simple as far as color selection goes for me with these things. I just try to replicate what I think they're eating, and that's the magic in all of bass fishing. But you know, I like to throw this bluegill when I'm up real shallow around vegetation and stuff. It works really well when fish are eating perch. We've also got a color called stealth perch that if you're really trying to imitate perch, it's perfect. But the bluegill is cool because it does both. It matches bluegill. It looks a lot like a perch to me, and it's just that perfect bite-sized nugget. It looks like just that baby bluegill that is so easy for a fish to eat. Spybait is not a bait that you're going to pick up and try to run 3 miles of bank with. It is a bait that will catch fish that other baits won't catch. I've seen it so many times when I can't get bit on something. I know the fish are there. I pull out a spybait and I get those fish to bite. Whether it's the whole school or just one, it's amazing the fish that this thing can trigger to bite. It's so different from everything else. So a lot of people see these little bitty hooks on the spy and they get nervous and think, oh man, those little treble hooks, I'm gonna lose so many fish. And I really don't lose many fish on a spybait. I mean, I think it's actually, the landing ratio for me is really good. And a lot of that is to do with the bait being small and easy for the fish to eat, get in their mouth. Another thing is using the right setup. For me, I'm all about using a medium light rod. This is a 6'9" medium light Abu Garcia Veracity. It's always a spinning rod. It's a Revo winch reel, and the cool thing about the winch, it's got a very slow gear ratio. It's designed for like cranking and fishing spy baits, so you're not going to overpower the bait. You're not going to fish it too fast. And again, remember, it works better when you fish it slow. If you fish it too fast, you lose the shimmy. So fishing it slow is usually the key. As far as line goes, a far casting line. It's a good casting bait to begin with, but a line that you're going to be able to cast a long ways. If you go with straight fluorocarbon, you're going to lose a lot of distance. I like Nanofill. This is an 8-pound test. It's known for being able to cast far. I use a fluorocarbon leader, anywhere from 5 feet to about an 8-foot leader. And for me, that's going to be 6-pound Trilene 100% fluorocarbon. Overall, if you have one thing that's unbalanced in your setup, it's going to mess everything up. So experiment with it. But again, like I said, the light rod and having your drag set light, that's going to be very critical to getting those fish in that maybe don't get it all the way down their mouth. It might just have one hook. Loose drag, light rod, you're going to land those fish.